To find a house in 4 days when you weren't planning on moving and you have to pack is extremely stressful.
I had one of the worst landlords on the earth, honestly. Never did anything. We had to fight to get our boiler fixed, had to fight to get anything done. And then one day he decided to be proactive. He was getting stuff done and he said he was going to do some renovations in our house, and we were really excited because it meant, you know, things would get fixed. And then I get in and I'm really excited to cook dinner, like I've planned what I'm going to make. Then I open the door and there's no kitchen. Like the kitchen is gone, completely gone. Like all the flooring's been pulled off. The fridge is askew and off. So all our food's rotten and rotten. All the cupboards have been pulled down. And then all the stuff that I owned that was in the cupboards was in just bin bags outside the front door. It was not fun. And he promised he'd buy us all takeaways for the week because, you know, it's an inconvenience, and he never did.
I moved house really quickly during one summer one time. Found these people online, you know, the usual thing. You find them on these renting pages and you just go through. So I lived with like 2 Spanish boys, fairly nice, whatever, I have no bad things to say about them. I went on holiday to Austria. While I was there, one of them messages me going, "Oh, I'm moving out next week. Do you want to share a moving van?" And I was like, why would I be sharing a moving van? And they were like, yeah, because we're moving out on the same day. And I was like, what? Where am I going? And they were like, yeah, you're moving out on this day. And I was like, who said that? And they were like, oh, I thought you knew. And I was like, no, nobody told me I had to leave the house. I haven't looked for anywhere, I haven't done anything, I'm on holiday. He goes, but we've had people viewing your room, so we've already given the room away. And I was like, cool. So you guys have been waiting for me to leave the house, to bring people in to view my room, and you've given it away. So basically, yeah, I had to run back, find somewhere, very last minute. Luckily, I found a great place, amazing people. Anyway, as you can expect, I don't speak to them again because I think it was probably the shadiest thing possible. But I don't know why they thought I was moving out. I never said I was, but they were convinced that I told them I was leaving. I don't know how they would come to that conclusion.
So I had a live-in landlord. I moved in with her because she seemed really cool. She was only a little bit older than me. It was really fun and interesting. Her dad had given her the flat, so I was her first tenant. It was really tricky because I'd been warned that live-in landlords aren't the best, but I thought it'd be fine because she was such a similar age to me. We had really similar interests. She seemed cool and artsy. I was like, we're gonna get along fine. This is all good. Right before I moved in, she sent me a text one day and she showed me all these pictures of the room I was supposed to move into. She'd stripped the wall of the wallpaper that I hadn't asked her to do. And she was like, sorry, it's not going to be finished by the time you move in. Is this okay? Or do you want me to just keep it as like this bare wall? I think it looks really cool. And I was like, oh no, I do want the wall painted. I don't want the just unstripped, half done wall, but yes, it's okay, you can finish it while I'm like moving in, it should be okay. And then she just didn't finish it. So then I just had these like half done walls. Half the wallpaper was still there and half of it was like plaster. And it just looked atrocious, really. And she kept trying to be like, oh, I think it's like Parisian chic. And I was like, no, it's not, it's just unfinished. Unfortunately, because she didn't know what she was doing as well, when she'd stripped the wallpaper away, she'd actually taken some bits of the wall off with it. I would just be like, I would have my heating on in my room and I'd be like, I'm still absolutely freezing. Like absolutely freezing. I was like, I don't understand, I feel like I'm going insane. And I realized it's because underneath the window, there were all these gaps of like cold air coming in because she'd like stripped away the wallpaper but not done it properly. So all this cold air was just coming in. And I told her about it and she was like, don't worry, I'll get around to it. And I'm like, I'm literally freezing my like arse off here. Anyway, long story short, she never got around to fixing the curtain. She never got around to stripping the rest of the wall. She never got around to painting anything.
So I lived in this lovely flat with one of my good friends. Basically, we've been living there for a couple of, weeks, maybe not longer than 2 months top. And then the hot water stops. And, coming from like uni in your parents' house, there is only so much you know about the boilers that you've lived in. So I had no idea what was going on. So I called our letting agent and was like, hey, our hot water stopped. And they were like, oh yeah, we'll sort of like get someone out. As estate agents I want to do, they just sort of fob you off, or they talk to the landlord, but they don't talk about how urgent it is, so it's just like a long wait. But can you imagine like pouring hot water from your kettle and various pans that you've put on the hob into your bath so you can be clean to go to work, right? Eventually, I'd had enough, I snapped. And I went right into this like estate agents, and I was just like, oh, I want to speak to redacted. And they were like, why? I don't think he's in. You know, maybe call him or send him an email. I was like, I'm not sending any emails. I haven't had a shower in 3 days. A stink, a stink. I need to talk to someone so that my boiler can be fixed. This is inhumane. You know, I'm just hysterical, and I'm like, how would you feel if you couldn't shave your armpits properly?